Hello everyone, it's Mr. Wolfe here today, and we are going to be working on the skill of constructing explanations with momentum. A tool that could be really helpful to have out today is the Unit 5 momentum target sheet, especially with the equations to use, just as a reference. All right, I want to go over the warm-up in this video and then introduce the first scenario of our hitting the longest home run ever packet. So here's the nice thing with our momentum explanations. They are not like the energy ones, which were super long. Think about the concluding statement at the end of those energy explanations. Like that's what momentum is. It's almost like there's like two concluding statements. You'll see what I mean. But we're just going to start simple with just one concluding statement. All right. So this is just a throwback to our concluding statements from energy. Two cars are driving on the ground. Both cars have equal kinetic energy. Well, you've read the problem. So let's take a look at it. Car A and car B, all right, have equal kinetic energy. All right. And car A is traveling faster, so I drew a larger velocity. So in order for these to still be equal, if they have the same K, then car A has to have less mass. Car B has to have more mass. And yes, there is the 1/2, but remember it's proportional reasoning, so you don't even really need to worry about the 1/2. All right, so if I were to say this, I like to start with what's the same. Both cars have the same K, all right, but car A has more velocity, so it must have less mass. And that's it, right? Just going back to our energy explanations. So now we're going to apply the same thinking with our momentum equations now. All right. So what I want you to do, all right, this is not in your packet, so maybe just kind of annotate it somewhere in your packet. But I want you to take a moment to just read this introduction, just what's right here, and I want you to think of what are 3 things you think are important from reading this introduction. So do me a favor, pause the video, all right, and just take a moment to answer those questions. All right, so hopefully you had some time to write down 3 things you found were important. These were 3 things that I found particularly important. Force is not the only variable that can be manipulated to make the ball go further. All right, there's other variables here too. All right, the ball that experiences, we're trying to see the longest home run ever, so that's distance, right? But notice distance, height, change in x are not part of my variables. So when we know the change in velocity, that like the greatest change in velocity is also going to travel the furthest. So we could use this, they use that as a proxy. Greater velocity, the greater change in velocity, further the ball is going to go. All right. And then also our explanations are going to be based off these equations. All right. So let's get into it with just kind of a smaller example. This is kind of like a concluding statement, but now we're just doing it with our momentum problems. All right. So you're going to read through this problem. You're going to circle your claim, and then you're just going to write a quick concluding statement to answer scenario number 1. All right, and then we'll go over it. Thanks for watching.